Yo, what's up, guys? Figured we could do a quick little live stream. Hopefully, find some good bets. So, I'm going to share my screen and got a few different sports books pulled up. We hit this. This was from the live stream yesterday on Underdog Fantasy. I know we lost a few. But I mean, hey, right? These are a 6x payout. You lose $100. It was a little bit of a sad one. This Kavem guy, we just needed him over 39.5. He ended up with 37. But I mean, regardless, 6x payouts on Underdog Fantasy. This was pretty great. And then also, we had a pretty good day on Underdog Fantasy on live stream. We also had a good day on Hot Streak. So, more sports books you have, the better. I say it all the time, but you never know where the value is going to be on a given day. So we're going to start out on the fantasy optimizer on Underdog Fantasy, right? So we've been placing a lot of esports bets, and it seems like such a random sport. And you may be like, oh, I don't know anything about esports, or I like PrizePicks, their layout better than Underdog Fantasy. But esports on Underdog Fantasy is where we've been making a lot of money. There's been a lot of line discrepancies. So what we can do is we can just start putting some plays together. So take a look at this guy, right? Take a look at this guy, right? We got some plays. Okay, cool. So what we can do is we can start building a slip. And essentially, like, we're, extracting discrepancies in the market. So what we can do is we can actually just, try to put some plays together. So this is great. So this is what I'm going to lock in. And I'll kind of explain here in a second why I like this play. But regardless, I'm going to lock it in. If you guys are tailing, hopefully, you tail it now before the line moves. Well, actually, I kind of like this play too. So maybe we add in this play and we make it let's make it a 4-pick entry. So we'll lock in this play, and then we'll kind of explain like the rationale. So 4-pick entries, you want to play with insurance. So I'm going to play this 4-pick entry with insurance. Boom, bang, we got it going. So let's start it here. We also got some good-looking slips, it looks like, out there, right? So we got some pretty good ones. We got some pretty good ones going, so I'm pretty happy about that. But anyways, we can go through this here in a second. 4-pick entry with insurance. And like, it's a pretty simple strategy. No offense, however smart you think you are, these sports books are smarter than you. And by that, I mean, they've invested so much money in their ability to set lines, right? So people who just watch sports and think they can outsmart the sports books, which is 99% of sports bettors, like, that doesn't work. The way you beat these books is you find discrepancies between sports books. So if you take a look at this player, rookie, right? Why is OddsJam recommending the fantasy optimizer? Why is it recommending this guy's under 10.5 first 3 map kills? And it's pretty simple, right? ParlayPlay. So that's another data point. They have this guy's line at 9 kills. PrizePicks has his line at 9 as well. So Underdog Fantasy has the line at 10.5. The 2 other sports books that post esports lines are setting his line at 9. So it seems like Underdog Fantasy is screwing up, right? We found a discrepancy between the sports books. Again, you're not going to be able to create better projections, better models, right, than Underdog Fantasy. But the way you can beat them is you find discrepancies between these sports books. They all try to set lines independently. So all OddsJam is doing, this fantasy optimizer, all it's doing, I mean, pretty simple, right, is it's scanning. You go to esports, is it scanning tens of thousands of lines on every sports book and just pointing out discrepancies. That's all the various tools, on OddsJam do. It's really nothing complicated. So why is it recommending this play on Zach Greinke? Pretty simple, right? This play actually gave out earlier on Twitter, so I've already bet this. And I think I got it at minus 115 odds. So yeah, so I bet it when it was minus 115. You guys are late to the party. If you're just seeing this, now it's minus 125. It's like you guys have lives and jobs. But long story short, why is this bet good? Is, again, it's like pretty simple. Don't overcomplicate sports betting. We got $1-2 billion companies, DraftKings and Caesars. They're both pricing this at minus 183 and minus 160. It's kind of like if you had hundreds of different prices for a stock, right? It's like if you could go to, Fidelity and buy and buy Facebook stock or Meta stock for $200. You would do that in a heartbeat, right? It's trading in the market at $294.58. The stock market, stock prices are based on supply and demand, of everyone in the world, right? There's millions of people. Their full-time job is every day waking up and thinking about, is this stock overvalued or undervalued? So instead of trying to outsmart the market, we're not trying to outsmart the market, we're taking advantage of the inefficiencies in the market, right? So you can see for this player rookie, we want to take his under because the other data points are telling us, this line should be lower at 9. It's very simple, right? Very simple strategy, but this is what actually works, right? This is what actually makes money, taking advantage of inefficiencies in the market, forming your own little hedge fund, taking advantage of mispriced bets. So then what about these other plays? These other plays are the same thing, right? Handsome D. This guy's got a bit of a weird name. Handsome D. And then we got Snaker, right? So an added benefit here, which I've mentioned in other videos, but whatever, I like to talk so we can mention it again, is when you're betting on esports, right? Players on opposing teams are positively correlated to go in opposite directions. So that's a kind of big word, but on these platforms like PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, if we go to NFL season, I've given this example before, but whatever. If you're new to these live streams, hi, my name's Alex. But what we're going to do is if you thought Mahomes was going to have a great season and throw for, 6,000 passing yards, it probably makes sense to pair him with Kelsey over in passing yards, right? PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, right? These are platforms where they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under, right? You're always getting a 3x payout for these 2-pick entries, overs, unders, right? Doesn't matter. They're fixed payout platforms. PrizePicks, you take overs, unders, you're always getting a 3x payout. So obviously, if you think Mahomes is going to have a great season, it doesn't really make sense to take Kelsey's under when you get the same payout for taking Kelsey's over. Kelsey's his main target. If Mahomes has a great season, Kelsey's probably going over in receiving yards, right? So these plays are positively correlated. If Mahomes goes over, Kelsey's more likely to go over. So it's the same thing in esports when you can find players on opposing teams, one guy to go over, one to go under, that's positively correlated. Long story short, these plays are positively correlated. Yo, what's up, guys? So we got some people in here. So we'll give out some bets. We'll also do Dinger Tuesday, which is a promo on FanDuel that we can kind of talk about in a second. But pretty simple. When you're betting on esports, players on opposing teams take one guy over, one guy under. When you can find two really good plays, two big line discrepancies, it would have been great to find a player on the opposite team of rookie to go, over, but I couldn't. So what about this play on Aaron Savale? So we can go here and we can go to Aaron Savale. And if you take a look at this guy, he's on the Cleveland Guardians. If you like baseball, you may know that. And you can see all of the sports books, right, have his under 2.5 earned runs. I can actually just pull up some sports books. So I'm currently in California. So unfortunately, there's no sports books in California, really. There's Fliff, but there's not a ton of others. And we'll get back to Underdog Fantasy plays here in a second. But if we go here to the MLB and you go to, pitcher props, earned runs, where's earned runs, right? So you're going to see all the sports books. They have Aaron Savale heavily favored to go under 2.5 earned runs. So Underdog Fantasy, we've explained this in other videos. This is a platform where they don't change your payout, right, based on you selecting over versus under. So if all the sports books are telling you, hey, this guy's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over, which is exactly what the fantasy optimizer is showing you. Every sports book, right? Caesar Sportsbook, billion-dollar company. All these sports books, DraftKings, $14 billion company. They all have him heavily favored to go under 2.5 earned runs. So you want to include the under in your Underdog Fantasy entry because all the sports books, all of the market data points are telling you this guy's a lot more likely to go under as opposed to over. So what we can do is we can also pull up FanDuel. So if you go to FanDuel, maybe you use FanDuel, maybe you don't. I won't waste a bunch of time on this. But you can see every single Tuesday, just like PrizePicks runs this promo, Taco Tuesday, which we'll get to here in a second. So you can see they have this play on Asia Wilson. They're reducing her line. So PrizePicks runs this promo every single Tuesday. You can see I already have a play in here. They already had a Taco Tuesday, but if you miss the first one, they run like 3 of them every Tuesday. You're going to see they're giving you a 3-point discount on Asia Wilson, right? They're bringing her points line from 21.5 to 18.5. So obviously you want to take the over. So on FanDuel, they run a promo, which is called Dinger Tuesday. So you bet $25. So for any MLB game, so if you bet on the Angels game, $25 on a player to hit a home run. Let's say you take Ohtani to hit a home run, $25, right? For every home run hit in that game, they give you a $5 bonus. So if the Angels game has 4 home runs, FanDuel gives you $20, right? A $20 bonus. So most MLB games have about 2 to 3 home runs per game. So you're looking at roughly $10 to $15 in expected value or value of this promo is roughly FanDuel's giving you a free $10 to $15 per game you bet. So if you don't use FanDuel, you're missing out on this really good promo. So basically, it's pretty simple. You just want to bet on a bunch of players to hit a home run. Could your home run bet lose? Yeah, your home run bet could absolutely lose. But I mean, what you could do is you could also hedge on another sports book. If you really hate risk, right, what you could do, so we can see where's a good home run bet. Is there any home run bets right now? So we can refresh this. So it doesn't look like there's a ton of home run bets on the positive EV tool. So that kind of stinks. FanDuel, there's no home run bets available on this tool. Maybe not. But what we can do is you can just go, it's a pretty simple strategy. It's completely free to browse odds on OddsJam. So the MLB game. So basically, we're looking to bet $25 on a player in every game to hit a home run. FanDuel is going to give us a $10 bonus for every home run hit in that game. So we just want to find some value in the market. So typically, I just recommend, search around the market and see where FanDuel is giving you good odds. So for this player, Akil Bato, you probably don't want to bet him on FanDuel to hit a home run for this promo. Bet 365 is giving you plus 1,075. So FanDuel plus 870 is kind of a ripoff, right? That's not good odds. So what I recommend doing is, you just try to look for where is FanDuel giving you the best possible line. And you can see this play looks decent, right? Mike Moustauskas, FanDuel's giving you plus 630. Caesar's only giving you plus 525. So Bet Online, Bet US, all these other books, plus 600, plus 450. So FanDuel's giving you the best possible odds on this guy to hit a home run. So maybe that's a play you want to go with. Or here, Zach McKinstry, plus 750. All the other books around plus 700. So there's nothing complicated. You don't have to waste a bunch of time, Then you can head over to the Orioles game and do the same thing, right? So again, most MLB games average 2 to 3 home runs per game. Every game you bet on, you're getting $5 in bonus funds from FanDuel. So I can't currently bet on FanDuel. Not available where I'm located, but I've done this promo has been around for years now, and I used to bet it every single week religiously. Is all I would do is I would look for where FanDuel was giving the best odds, and this promo is worth hundreds of dollars in value per week, right? There's 1, 2, 3, maybe 15 MLB games today. Most games have 2 to 3 home runs. FanDuel is giving you $150, $200 worth of value on this promo every single week. And all you have to do for every game is find a few home run bets where you're getting decent value. Brandon Marsh to hit a home run. But anyways, we can go back here to Underdog Fantasy. Damn. And we can take a look at some of these plays. So we can go here. And we can try to find some good correlated bets. Here's a good one, right? KT Rolster. So pretty simple, nothing complicated, just following the data, literally it's imagine you're a trader, OddsJam's your Bloomberg terminal, you're hunting through the market, you're looking for value. This player aiming His line is 1.5 higher. Like, you'll never see these discrepancies in the NBA. You only see them, in these more niche sports like League of Legends. PrizePicks has his line at 12.5. Underdog Fantasy is a lot higher at 13. Parlay plays at 13. Underdog Fantasy is lower at 11.5. So we want to take the over. So it's like bang. Then we can see this player Dudu under 3.5. And this is perfect. Positive correlation, right? One player to go over, one to go under. These players are on opposing teams. This is exactly what we are looking for. So then Asia Wilson, player points, it's recommending. So again, like, you can basically just take all these picks in green. I just like to talk and kind of explain, why I'm going with the bets. Like, when I started out sports betting, I was really lucky, to know smart people who kind of already bet on sports and could kind of teach me how to bet on sports. And like, obviously, when you know what you're doing, you can make a lot more money. So if you look at Asia Wilson, her line is 22.5 on Underdog. All the sports books have her line at 20.5 or 21.5. ParlayPlay, right, has the line at 21.5. All the sports books are at 21.5 or 20.5. Every sports book is telling us, yo, her line's too high. So we want to take her under, right? So what I can do is I can lock that in. So we have a 3-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy. There's another one, right? So value, all over Underdog Fantasy, just following the data. I never wake up. And it sounds counterintuitive because it's sports, right? It's like, oh, you just use data in sports. And it's like, yeah, because that's what makes money. So you can see here now some good home run, a lot of good home run bets are showing up. So it's pretty simple. Every Dinger Tuesday, like, I'm initially from Virginia. So when I'm home in Virginia and can do this FanDuel promo, they're literally giving you, if you bet $25 on a player to hit a home run in every single game, you get a $5 bonus for every home run, right? Every single home run. And you can always hedge. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't want to lose money. Like Evan Longoria, if he doesn't hit a home run, I'm going to lose money. It's like, this promo is a no-brainer, right? You're getting $5 per home run hit in the game. So if this game has 4 home runs, right, sure, you may lose your $25 bet on Longoria to hit a home run. But if there's 4 home runs in the game, you're getting $20 in bonus funds. Like, it's a no-brainer promo. But what you can always do is you can hedge on another sports book, right? What you could always do is just put some money on Evan Longoria's under half of a home run on a different sports book like WinBet. And again, we have hedging calculators. They're called arbitrage calculators, but you can always hedge. But if you're looking for a play in the Cardinals game, Longoria, plus 470. Why is this play so good? The average price across the entire market is plus 389. Pinnacle, one of the smartest, sharpest sports books, they're pricing this at plus 314. So Longoria is a great play. Mariners game, Mike Ford, plus 520, right? Joey Gallo, plus 390, also a good option. DraftKings only giving you plus 340. Caesars only giving you plus 265. So plus 390 seems like decent value. So like, this promo doesn't take a lot of time. I mean, all you do if you use OddsJam is you go to the positive EV tool, you look on FanDuel, right? And then you just take all the highest EV, highest profit margin home run bets for every game you want to bet on. Salvador Perez, plus 420, right? Anthony Santander, plus 330, like whatever. Just find value, lock in these plays. So I just gave out a bunch, Freddie Freeman, plus 450. Joey Meneses, plus 520. Like, all the positive EV tool does is make it simple. It's essentially scanning, the EV tool is simple. Instead of looking at raw data, like if you think about it, you could just search through the market manually, kind of like this, and you could hunt for value, hunt for big discrepancies in the odds. All OddsJam is doing is just, putting that into software and pointing out discrepancies to you. Big discrepancies in the odds. Nothing complicated. So I can remove FanDuel now. We kind of explained enough about that promo. And we can go back to Underdog Fantasy. So we've locked in some good plays on Underdog with good correlation as well. Not to mention, we're getting positive correlation on those plays. So what we can do next is kind of look for maybe some more correlated plays on Underdog Fantasy. So ideally, I want to find players again on opposing teams to be going opposite directions. So you can see here, I mean, there's a lot of discrepancies in general in the market. Pride Stalker, a lot of unders. So we can go over to ParlayPlay next, whatever. So here's another play that seems decent, right? Underdog Fantasy has this player Tien. They have his line at 7. ParlayPlay has the line at 6, right? And then PrizePicks has the line at 6.5. So who knows, right? Here it's a little less clear, right? It's like, okay, kind of seems like looking at all this information, the Underdog Fantasy is a little too high. ParlayPlay maybe a little too low. PrizePicks is right on. They have it in the middle. So again, in esports, it's a little harder or a little less clear sometimes which plays are good because, again, like, you know, there's not a ton of books that post esports lines. Whereas when we're looking for, let's say, baseball plays, which we're about to get into, for baseball, there's tons of sports books that post lines. So what we can actually do is take a look at this Eduardo Rodriguez player, right? You take a look at him. His strikeout line is 6.5 on ParlayPlay. If we go over to, you know, PrizePicks and, you know, Eduardo Rodriguez, so his line is 6 on Underdog Fantasy. It's lower. You're going to see OddsJam is recommending we take the under, right? It's the top profit margin play. And again, if you look at the data points, right, bet online, like the sports books have the under 6.5 for Rodriguez, pretty heavily favored. So you can also switch your state around. Again, like I'm currently not in a state where I can use, you know, FanDuel, but I still want to look at their odds. So it looks like that play just went away. Let's see. So I can go back here. Eduardo. Nope, it's still available. Okay, good stuff. So I'm not sure what happened. Did I filter it out? So let's refresh this. I'm not sure. The play just disappeared on me where I was looking for it. But if we go back here, I can refresh this. And what we can do is we can also just go here to the sportsbook screen, and I can take a look at, you know, player strikeouts for the MLB, and we can just take a look at Rodriguez. So literally, you know, pretty simple stuff. ParlayPlay has this guy's line at 6.5. PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy, two other pick'em platforms, fantasy sites, they have his line lower at 6. JockMKT has his line at 6, another fantasy site. All the sports books have his line at 5.5. Super Draft, which is a new fantasy site, they have his line at 6. I mean, it's pretty clear as day that Rodriguez's line, there's a lot of value on the under. Literally, all the other fantasy sites have his line at 6. All the sports books have his line at 5.5. And again, this tool is just the sports book screen that just shows you, you know, where books are setting all their lines. So what we can do next is we can find some other plays maybe on ParlayPlay. So Griffin Canning, under 5.5 hits allowed. So we can go back here and we can take him under 5.5 hits allowed. So I'm literally just like going down the list. It's a pretty simple, you know, strategy. All the sports books, just like Underdog Fantasy, which we explained. And again, my refer a friend code is below for ParlayPlay. I say this in other videos, more sports books you have, the better. You know, never know which book is going to be screwing up, having value on a given day. But the strategy is pretty simple, right? This ParlayPlay platform, you look right here. They don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So you want to find spots, in this case it's Canning's under, where sports books have one side heavily favored. For Griffin Canning, all books have his under 5.5 hits allowed heavily favored. So again, the reason we don't go with 3-pick entries is on Underdog Fantasy, right? These 3-pick entries, your parlay is a 6x payout. You're betting 100 to win 600. 100 to win 600, 6x payout, right? 100 to win 600. Whereas on ParlayPlay, for these 3-pick entries, it's only a 5x payout. So you don't want to place these 3-pick entries on ParlayPlay. They're pretty horrible. So next play it's recommending is Courtney Williams, under 6.5 rebounds, right? Pretty simple. just like Griffin Canning. All the sports books have Courtney Williams under, heavily favored. It's a different sport. It's the exact same concept, right? Same concept. Then we have Nneka over 8.5 rebounds. Boom. So that makes pick number 5. And then what do we want to go with? What do we want to go with? We got options. We got options. We got options. Whatever. We'll take Alex Krylov under 1.5 bases. So that makes pick number 6. So another thing you can do is on ParlayPlay every single day, only $20 max, but this is a cool promo they run. Every single day, $20 max. You can do what's called the slide the line feature. So for this Tian player, right, we wanted to bet him over 6 kills. But what we can do is you can slide the line to 5.5, and you can bet him over 5.5. But I'm just going to bet him over 6. I'll save that for another time. But if you want to, you can do that. So I want to take this guy under 1.5 bases. And then the max bet size they have is $60. So you can see they moved it. So that's annoying. So the max bet size they have is $60 for the 6-pick entries on ParlayPlay. So it's a pretty low bankroll. You know, you can't bet a lot of money, long story short, on this platform. So we can try to find another play that we fall in love with. We can try to fall in love today. So what do we want to go with? What do we want to go with? Just kind of looking around. Do we want some WNBA? Why don't we take Taria McCowan over 11.5 points? Sure. Or we can just play this as a 5-pick entry. Again, either are options. Or we can add in this McCowan play, right? We wanted to take her over 11.5 points, but maybe we slide the line to 11, you know, to kind of get the little benefit. Although I do guess from a percentage standpoint, right, like we're only getting half a point of improvement here, right? We're getting her from over 11.5, which is a sharp bet to begin with, but we're only getting her to 11. It's only half a point of value. So we might as well take Courtney Williams under 7, right? We wanted to bet her under, so we want to take her under, right? I did the slide the line thing on Courtney Williams. We're taking Nneka over 8.5, right? And this is our little 6-pick entry. And for this promo, I mean, you'll see they only let you bet $20 max for this little slide the line promo. What? Courtney Williams line, it looked like moved. So let me refresh this. Some of these lines are moving quickly. So we got to go back here. And what should we take? Tempt over 10. Okay. So we can take him over 10, right? And we can slide the line to make it over 9.5. Whatever. Good enough. And there we go. Now it locked it in. So there we go. For the promo, slide the line promo, this is what I ended up going with on ParlayPlay. And again, like more books you have, the more promos, you know, you're going to have access to. FanDuel's running this Dinger Tuesday promo. Literally, if you bet this every week of the MLB season, I mean, just look up how many home runs are in the MLB regular season. FanDuel's giving you $5 for free every Tuesday that you bet this promo. It's a ridiculously good promo. But what I was going to say is this platform, Hot Streak, runs a lot of promos as well. Been cashing pretty big. I know it's not a popular sports book, but if you've been following along, I deposited like $500 in here. We're already up to 2,000-ish in like a month. And this is a sports book that has an $100% deposit match up to $200 when you sign up. Again, my refer a friend code is below. And what's cool about this platform is they run these boosts, right? So you can see they're telling you, hey, this plays like whatever, 3.8% profitable, is they run these boosts every single hour, right? So typically what I do is I just like, you know, the way this Hot Streak platform works, though, is, again, you need 2 picks. in an entry. It's not like a traditional sports book like DraftKings, where you can place just, one bet on, Aaron Savale to go under. On this hot streak platform, you need at least 2 picks. So I need to go here, and I want to take Gary Sanchez under half of the base at plus 139. And you can see if I try to put like $100 on this, they're going to tell me, hey, for these promo plays, you're only allowed to bet $10 max, right here, $10 max per promo bet. So I'm going to hit this for 10 bucks, right? Like I literally just find these odds boosts on the fantasy optimizer. Again, OddsJam is pretty simple. Just scans all the sports books and points out value. So whenever Hot Streak is running one of their hourly odds boost, it tends to show up on OddsJam, and we're able to get on it pretty quickly, or I'm able to get on it. And if I remember, then I place the bet on Hot Streak. So some of these plays I've already bet on Fliff, but, you can see here again, just like it's always a benefit of having multiple sports books. More books you have, the better. More books you have, more money in your pocket. Never know which book is going to screw up on a given day. So if you look here in the Marlins game, it's like, whoa, Fliff is giving us the Marlins. They have a really low team total. Their team total's at over under 2.5. So what I'll do is we can take the Marlins over 2.5 team total runs. And again, you want to know how to move quickly. The best betting opportunities, you'll see, right? Sportsbooks are always adjusting their odds, moving around their lines. This is a little line movement chart. So you can see Pinnacle, sharpest sportsbook out there. They've moved odds on this total all around. But regardless, I locked it in. You can't bet Fliff on your computer. You used to be able to. I used to be able to get it on my app. Now I can't, but I just hit it from my phone. More bets is better. So what we can do is we can also see, okay, are there any other plays? So some of these plays I gave out on Twitter earlier. So this play I already bet. This play I already bet, but I got it at minus 115 odds. Now you can see it's around like, minus 160, minus 170. Minus 125 on Fliff is crazy value. You're going to see Caesars Sportsbook has ripped this line from minus 137 to minus 183. Fliff is asleep at the wheel. Still giving you minus 125, right? You got to remember like how sportsbooks make their money is they charge a spread, right? It's called the VIG. So Pinnacle has a 40-cent spread in their market, right? Plus 125, minus 165. It's like a car dealer or a stockbroker. I'll buy this stock for 125 bucks. I'll sell it for 165. That's all a sportsbook is they're brokers of bets, right? They bake in a spread, and then they take action on both the over and the under. That's how the sportsbook makes money. So if you remove the spread, you'd see, hey, there's a 40-cent spread. So the midpoint, right, on Pinnacle would be roughly plus 145, minus 145. That would be the line with no VIG, with the VIG removed, right? So if you just remove the 40-cent spread, that gets you to your fair odds, right? The true odds with the VIG removed, and it would be roughly minus 145 according to Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker out there. We're getting minus 125 on Fliff. So that's really good value, right? You just removed the spread that the sportsbooks are baking in to their market. So then we can see Griffin Canning under 6.5 strikeouts. So there's plays all over Fliff. Again, like you never know which book is going to be dumb on a given day. You never know, which book is going to have the value. So you can see there's plays all over Fliff. They tend to not really adjust their lines that often. So you can see, whatever. I'll go ahead and lock in this bet as well on Fliff. A lot of bets in general. George Kirby over 17.5 outs. This play, I think if you follow me on Twitter, I already gave this out, and I'm pretty sure I bet it at better odds. I think I got it at like minus 105. I don't remember, though. George Kirby, we bet him at minus 115. We got him over. So we got this line at minus 115, which was right then, about 9 hours ago. Now you can see, all the books have been ripping lines in favor of George Kirby to go over 17.5 outs. And I've explained before, like, it may seem confusing. Why are lines always moving? Stuff like that. But you got to remember, like, lineups are always changing, lineup alerts, right? Like, all this stuff impacts the odds. When the starting lineup comes out for the Twins, George Kirby, I think he's pitching against the Twins. When the starting lineup comes out for the opposing team, that affects the pitcher's, strikeout line, his outline. It affects the odds on all the player props. So you can see there's some more bets on, Fliff, whatever. Go back to Underdog Fantasy. That's crazy. So you can see Fliff or Underdog Fantasy as Ronald Acuna Jr. They have his hits plus runs plus RBI line at 3. I don't think I've ever seen this line at 3. 3 is crazy. Hits plus runs plus RBIs. PrizePicks has the line at 2.5. So there's a discrepancy, right? So you can see it's recommending us, like, in general, it seems like Underdog Fantasy, their model is way too high on some of these League of Legends player props. It's recommending a lot of unders in general. So anyways, we'll call it a day for now. There's a lot of plays out there, but I'm pretty tired of hearing myself talk. It's 1 p.m. Enjoy your day. 4 hours is happy hour, and thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you guys are able to bet these promos. Any questions you have, feel free to reach out to me, hit me up, and hopefully we beat the Bucks tonight.